Toyota gets a lot of credit for building reliable cars, and most of it's deserved. But they're not the only ones quietly hitting 300,000 miles and beyond. In fact, some models from Honda, Volvo, and even old-school Ford are outlasting Toyotas by a mile, and most people have no idea. Hello everyone, this is Scott from CarlandTV. It's time to hop in the front seat because today I'm counting down 7 vehicles that outlast Toyotas and never make a fuss about it. Before I start, I would really appreciate it if you would push those buttons below. The subscribe button, the notification bell, all of them. This is not necessary, but those little clicks help a brother out. Plus, it pushes me to give you more valuable car-related content on your screen. Now, buckle up and let's get back to the video. Number 6. Honda Accord. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, if someone in the neighborhood had an Accord, it wasn't just a car, it was an investment. The older folks who drove them weren't chasing luxury or status. They were chasing a car that would start every morning, go anywhere, and rack up 6-digit mileage without turning into a money pit. The 2.4-liter i-VTEC engine, especially in the 7th and 8th gen Accords, is practically bulletproof if you stick to maintenance. No timing belt to worry about, no finicky electronics. Just a reliable chain-driven inline-4 mated to a rock-solid 5-speed auto or manual that could take abuse without flinching. One of the key reasons the Accord makes this list is its long history of reliability across multiple generations. According to iSeeCars, the Accord consistently ranks among the top 10 vehicles most likely to reach 200,000 miles. You'll find them all over the country, still running strong with 250,000 miles or more, and not just with highway miles either. The car's mechanical simplicity makes it easy for DIYers, and parts are everywhere. That's a big reason they outlive Camrys in tougher climates, or after years of rough driving. While Toyota's Camry holds a similar reputation, the Accord tends to have tighter handling and a stronger aftermarket. And that's what matters when you're talking about long-term ownership. It's not just about getting to 300,000 miles. It's about doing it without needing to baby the car every step of the way. Let's move from Honda's clean efficiency to something American and unkillable. Number 5. Ford Crown Victoria. Spend time in any major city before the 2010s, and you probably rode in a Crown Vic, whether it's a cop car, taxi, or that friend of a friend who picked one up at auction for a couple of grand. These things weren't just built to last. They were built to take punishment. You're looking at a full-frame, rear-wheel drive sedan with a 4.6-liter modular V8 under the hood that was so understressed it barely had to try. No turbo, no direct injection, just old-school iron doing work. When a car is used in police fleets and survives daily curb jumps, engine idling, and wide-open throttle pursuits, you know it wasn't built on a budget. I've seen Crown Vics go 400,000 miles without needing a transmission rebuild. Body panels rattled, interiors got beat up. But mechanically, these things are rock solid. You could pull a used one from auction with over 200,000 miles, change the fluids, and drive it cross-country without thinking twice. And when something did break, parts were dirt cheap, and the car was so common that every shop knew how to work on it. Toyota's Camry and Avalon might run long, but they were never built to be abused. The Crown Vic was. That's what separates this platform from everything else. It's not just how long it lasts, it's how much hell it can go through and still keep ticking. And as emissions rules and modern tech phase these out, clean examples are getting harder to find. Now let's switch lanes from brute force American engineering to a diesel icon built to go halfway around the world and back. Number 4. Mercedes Benz W123 and W124 diesels. Talk to anyone who's worked in a diesel shop long enough and the old Benz diesels always come up. Not because they're fast, not because they're flashy, but because they just don't quit. The W123 and early W124 models, especially the ones powered by the OM617 and OM603 inline 5s and 6s, were built during Mercedes' golden age of over-engineering. They were designed to run in Africa, Europe, the Middle East, or those places where service intervals are more of a suggestion and diesel fuel quality isn't always guaranteed. I've met owners pushing 500,000 miles on original engines. No rebuilds, no drama. These engines weren't chasing performance. They were slow, noisy, and heavy, but they were also nearly indestructible. Mechanical fuel injection, no turbo on most models, and iron blocks that could take heat cycles all day long. The transmissions, particularly the 4-speed autos, were slow to shift but brutally durable. What makes these cars outlast Toyota's finest isn't just the engine, it's the whole package. The chassis on the W123 feels like it's made from tank-grade steel. Suspension components are basic and serviceable with hand tools. And if you keep up with fluid changes and valve adjustments, The car will outlive multiple owners. Sure, parts can be pricey now, and you'll need to know your way around old German vacuum systems. But compared to a Camry or Highlander that might give you 250K with grace, the old diesel Benz might still be going strong past 600,000, albeit at 65 miles per hour with a cloud of soot. Next, let's talk about something that wasn't built in Europe or Japan, but in Detroit, and somehow ended up lasting just as long. Number 3. Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD Duramax Diesel. If you've ever been around farms, oil fields, or long-haul trailers, you already know the truck. The Silverado 2500 HD with the Duramax diesel is a different kind of survivor, especially the 2006 to 2007 LBZ models. Oh, those things have no complicated emissions systems, no DEF fluid, just a 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 paired to an Allison 1000 transmission that was built to haul serious weight without breaking a sweat. These trucks weren't designed for commuters. They were designed for hard miles and dirty jobs, day in and day out. I've seen LBZ-powered Silverados still pulling fifth-wheel trailers at 400,000 miles without so much as a limp. Routine maintenance, such as the oil, fuel filters, trans flushes, and they just keep going. Even the interior, basic as it is, holds up better than you'd expect. The drivetrain is the star, though. That Allison gearbox shifts like it knows how much torque it's sitting behind, and it rarely fails unless severely neglected. Compare that to a Toyota Tundra, which might be dependable but was never designed to pull a 14,000-pound load cross-country for years on end. The Tundra's fine for weekend hauling. The Duramax lives on the job site. Fuel economy isn't great, I gotta admit, and you're not squeezing into tight city parking spots, but that's not the point. This truck is about serious longevity under real load. If you need a tool that doubles as transportation, and you actually plan to use it like a truck, the 2500 HD with the right Duramax setup outlasts nearly anything else on the road. Now let's take a turn back to the 2000s, where a surprising flat-six engine quietly built a cult following for outliving its rivals. Number 2. Subaru Outback 3.6R. Most people think of Subaru and instantly picture the 2.5-liter boxer engine and all the head gasket jokes that come with it. But the real sleeper in the lineup was the 3.6R Outback. That flat-six engine didn't get much attention from the average buyer, but those who know what it is swear by it. No turbo, no CVT until very late in its life cycle, and a timing chain instead of a belt. It was one of the most durable and least problematic powertrains Subaru ever put on the road. I've come across more than a few of these with 250,000 to 300,000 miles, still running smoothly with original internals. These things were built for long highway drives, mountain passes, and harsh winters. The 5-speed automatic they were paired with is old school, but solid. You keep the fluids clean, and you're not replacing them anytime soon. The all-wheel drive system is mechanical, reliable, and doesn't need fancy calibration or electronics to work. Where it quietly outshines many Toyota crossovers is in long-haul resilience. The Highlander might win in interior space or tech, but the 3.6R's drivetrain takes the lead in terms of reliability when properly maintained. It's not flashy, but it's the kind of car that grows on you. You don't appreciate it in the first 50,000 miles. You appreciate it when it hits 200,000 and nothing rattles, leaks, or complains. It's easy to overlook the Outback 3.6R, but it deserves its place on this list. Let me wrap this one up with one last tank, which is the boxy underdog from Sweden that just refuses to die. Number 1. Volvo 240 and 740 series. If you grew up around someone who drove a Volvo 240 or 740, odds are it's still parked in their driveway. These boxy, slow, tank-like sedans and wagons weren't pretty, but they were built with one goal, and that's to survive anything, and they do. The old red block engines, particularly the B21, B23, and B230, were built with forged cranks, thick cast-iron blocks, and just enough power to get out of their own way. No fancy tech, no overcomplicated wiring, just honest Swedish engineering that kept things simple and reliable. What really sets these Volvos apart is how forgiving they are to neglect. I've seen them still ticking along with barely maintained cooling systems, original transmissions, and rust in places that should have killed lesser cars. And yet, the engine fires up, the gearbox shifts, the body holds together. Some owners report hitting 400,000 to 500,000 miles with nothing but routine maintenance and basic wrenching. These cars became legends not because they were fast or fun, but because they just worked, over and over, year after year. Toyota's reliability usually comes with strict maintenance schedules. The 240? It just keeps going, whether you're meticulous or forgetful. Plus, the mechanical layout is as DIY-friendly as it gets. Rear-wheel drive, simple electrics, and tons of community support online. Even the parts market is still alive, which says a lot for a car that went out of production before most people had email. This car didn't just outlast Toyotas, it outlasted the people who built it. And that's the difference between a good car and one that becomes a legend.